I don't know.
Oh, for God's sake, Niall!
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Unless you're new, then welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jasmine. Contrary to popular belief, it's not Hey Angel. I mean, you could call me Hey Angel if you want to, but my name is Jasmine. Jasmine Zaid. Speaking of Jasmine Zaid, I have a main channel called Jasmine Zaid. If you're not subscribed, go check it out. I'm actually in the middle of filming a bunch of vlogs for that channel that'll go up soon, so if you're not subscribed over there, go check it out. I just want to take a minute and apologize for this weird location and also the quality. I am home for the holidays, so I will be filming in my home bedroom and in my home locations for a while, which I'm sure you're used to if you were subscribed to me before I moved. And I'm also filming this like in the middle of the night, so not working with much sunlight, so I'm working with this ring light and it's making the quality look weird, so my apologies, but I do need to film this now. So anyways, today's video is going to be a let's talk about it. I have two other let's talk about it segments on this channel if you don't know what it is. Basically, let's talk about it is where I just take a topic and I go into detail about it with theories or analyzations or anything else like that, just because I don't have time to talk about it in other videos, so I just make one long video dedicated to it. So with that being said, yes, today I'm going to be doing a let's talk about it about Eroda, the Eroda conspiracy theory, and what it might have to do with harrie. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, Eroda, that's what I imagine you say it like, but I don't know, I've never heard it out loud. So but yeah, basically this video I'm going to tell you what it is, where it came from, what happened, and some of the theories that people have connecting Eroda to Mr. Harry Styles. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into this video and talk about Eroda. So to start off this video, I'm just going to be kind of explaining what Eroda is in the first place and where it came from and kind of some of the stuff backing up that. And then towards the middle, I'll get into how it connects to harrie. I'm going to start with some background information like I said. Basically, Eroda is an island that doesn't exist. It first got brought to people's attention a few days ago, actually, late November, when people started getting ads for this place called Eroda on their Facebook pages and their Twitter feeds. That sounds normal enough, but really it started getting hyped up when a few people realized, wait a minute, this place doesn't exist. There were some people who were getting the Eroda ads and decided to check them out and then literally did a bunch of research and realized that Eroda is not a place. It's nowhere on any map ever. So there's people starting to make threads like, yo, check out this place Eroda that literally doesn't exist. There's like a Twitter page for it, and if you go to their website, they have like a bunch of information on like fishing and attractions and different places that you can go and things that you can see, but there's nowhere on the website that tells you where it is or how to book a trip. There's no numbers to call, no anything. So then these people who were realizing that Eroda doesn't exist started reverse image searching like the pictures on the website of Eroda, and when you reverse image search them, they just come up as like Google stock photos that somebody stole off the internet. So my point here is that Eroda doesn't exist, it's not a place. So it was really fishy to a lot of people, like, why am I getting this ad for this place that literally doesn't exist? That's weird. But it gets weirder. So then that brings me back to what I was talking about before, the Eroda Twitter page. This Twitter page was created in October of 2019. So like fairly recently, about a month ago, this was created, but Eroda is just now becoming like a really popular thing. Back in October, like it was nothing, nobody even knew existed. It's just weird because on Eroda's website, it says that they're established in 2004, but somebody researched that too, and the website was not created in 2004. It was created in 2019, just like their Twitter page. So no, Eroda has not been around since 2004. It's a new thing that was just now being introduced to the public for whatever reason. That kind of takes me into my next point that I want to make, is that when I said Eroda gets weirder, I mean it gets weirder. All of a sudden, people started finding all these really weird, creepy, dark, cryptic messages that people were leaving about Eroda that made it seem like a really fucking terrifying place to go. I'm gonna read you some examples so you can understand what I'm talking about, but it's just very strange. So the Twitter account Visit Eroda, like Eroda's Twitter account, tweeted, "What is your favorite memory of Eroda?" Someone responded to it and said, "My son laughing, playing on the beach, before the incident, before the man in the lavender suit allowed our car to enter the car wash with the sunroof open, before the pain." Like weird, creepy messages like that, and there's a bunch of them. Like a bunch of just random people commenting on these Twitter questions and also on Facebook. Someone else said, "When Eroda needed me most, I gave her my fingers. I'm dying now, and I feel her slowly crushing and corrupting my soul. Soon the isle, then the world. Oh, Eroda, how we don't deserve you, and the symphony of destruction and the plague of decay you bring." What? It's just, do you see why people are so confused? Like, there's people out there not even like harrie stans. Harrie comes into this later, the harrie theory, but just local people also are just like very concerned about this Eroda thing, because like, what? This island that doesn't exist being literally advertised everywhere, and there's people who comment all this creepy shit on it. Like, I want you guys to know, like, that the comments I'm reading off of this Eroda stuff, these are comments that existed days before any of the One Direction fandom got a hold of the Eroda thing. These comments already existed, and then people found them later. It's not like people knew about the Eroda conspiracy theory and then started leaving stuff to scare people. No, these comments that I'm reading you existed before anyone found out about all this. There's so many more messages that are just really weird like that I'm going to kind of get into more of those like later when I talk about bringing harrie into it. But that was just for a little example. I was looking through some of the comments and some of the stuff that people were saying outside of the fandom, like just local people. A lot of people originally thought it could have been a school project. Like someone just made some little dinky website and promoted it and did it like that, like for some kind of school project, maybe like a college project. But then people started doing research on that and figured out that the website was created in California, and it was created with like really expensive software. Like, it would have been super expensive to make the Eroda website and then promote it across Spotify, Twitter, Facebook. Like, people were getting ads literally everywhere. So people kind of debunked like, oh, it's not a school project, like it's expensive. So then a lot of people started talking about, okay, I think it's just a social experiment. Like, somebody is trying to do a social experiment of some type to see like how quickly they can start conspiracy theory or what they can make people believe, and then just got like a bunch of people in on it. That's all the background information you really need on Eroda. Eroda without harrie. Basically, this island that doesn't exist was using Google stock images, really creepy cryptic messages, ads everywhere all over Spotify and Facebook and Twitter randomly. Some people think it's a social experiment or something of the sort, some kind of troll, some kind of prank. But then other people were like going against that, like, no, this must have took a lot of time, money, and effort. Why would it be a social experiment or a prank? And there's more stuff that kind of goes along with that as well as I get into like adding harrie into the equation. More stuff that comes in later that makes me really think like, why would this be a social experiment? So, but now I'm going to kind of move into why people are linking the whole Eroda thing to harrie. Now, before I talk about this, I just want to let you guys know that nothing is like set in stone, nothing that I'm going to tell you. I'm pretty sure by the time you're finished watching this video, you're going to be 100% convinced that harrie is doing something, because after I saw everything, I was convinced too. But I just want to let you know that there's a big possibility that this has nothing to do with harrie. I mean, there's a lot of evidence that it could be harrie's thing, but I just want you to know that it's just a conspiracy theory. If it has nothing to do with harrie, don't shoot the messenger. I just wanted to make sure I made that disclaimer, because I don't want people to think that they're gonna be like, oh my god, this bitch is stupid, it's just a social experiment, stop trying to make it about harrie. I'm not. I'm just gullible like everybody else. I want to talk to my people about the theory, okay? So the first thing and the most obvious is that Eroda backwards is adore. And on Fine Line, harrie has a song called Adore You. So that's the first thing. I think the thing that's most interesting to me about the adore thing, though, is that if you go on the Eroda website, there's a page that literally says, welcome to Eroda, we adore you. And the adore is written in like a fancy font, so it's emphasized. And I mean, any other time, I feel like that wouldn't matter, but I mean, the Eroda page was created and put into existence in October 2019, which is the exact same time that harrie dropped Lights Up and started his second era. So the next thing that people use to link Eroda to harrie is actually really interesting and is one of the things that kind of keeps lingering in my mind. Basically, we're going back to the Eroda website. There's a section on it where it talks about like all the attractions in Eroda that you can go and do. And there's one called the Fisherman's Pub, and this is what the description says. Located on the corner of Cherry Street and Golden Way, the Fisherman's Pub serves up classic fare in a casual setting. Be sure to try their fish and chips, blah blah blah. The important thing here is that it says located on the corner of Cherry Street and Golden Way. The corner of Cherry Street and Golden Way. Cherry, golden, cherry and golden. Huh, where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, they're two of harrie's songs on Fine Line. Harrie has a song called Golden, and harrie has a song called Cherry. And now on the Eroda website, there's a section that says Cherry Street and Golden Way, and you expect me to believe that's just some huge coincidence? Another thing that kind of goes along with the whole like list of attractions on the Eroda website, there is a place on the Eroda website listed called the Unit Inn, like INN, Unit Inn, like a hotel kind of thing. And somebody noticed that and decided to look up the meaning of Una, like alternate name, you know? And guess what Una means? Just take one guess. Kindness. It translates to kindness. Of course people are going to connect that to Harrie. Like, his whole brand is kindness, treat people with kindness. Like, another thing I want to mention that a lot of people use to relate Eroda to Harrie is the whole concept of odd numbered days and the importance of December 12th and 13th. Now, if you look up a bunch of stuff related to Eroda, there's a lot of comments that exist on the Facebook page and on the Twitter of people talking about leaving on December 12th and December 13th. And like I said before, these are comments that existed before this whole thing blew up and became about Harrie. And there is so many of people mentioning like leaving or visiting on the 12th of December and the 13th of December, and there's a lot of weird cryptic messages and comments about leaving on odd numbered days and just like really weird what the fuck are you talking about kind of stuff. And the reason people are linking that to Harrie is because, first of all, on his Do You Know Who You Are website, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, there was a point in time, like I think last month, where people kept putting in their name on the Do You Know Who You Are website and getting a message saying you are busy on December 12th. And a lot of people thought, like, you know, maybe he was gonna drop tour dates or something on that day. But then he dropped his tour dates and all that already happened, and it's not December 12th yet. So we're still confused as to what he's doing on December 12th, we don't know. So it's really weird that the Do You Know Who You Are website said you're busy on the 12th, and now this Eroda website is full of like December 12th, December 12th. And then as for the 13th, of course you all know that Fine Line comes out on December 13th, so a lot of people are connecting the weird like odd numbered day thing to the time that his album drops. So the next theory that people have like linking Harrie to Eroda is kind of complicated and like one of the bigger ones, so I'm gonna try to walk you through it. But basically, a few months ago I talked about in my rundown how there was a music video that Harrie was filming that never got released. Nobody even knows what song it was for. We just got a bunch of pictures of him like in front of the ocean and like in this vest. So a lot of people are connecting that unreleased music video to this Eroda thing. The theory is that Eroda is the setting for this unreleased music video that we don't know what it is yet. First off, there is a lot of similarities between where Harrie was filming and the pictures used on the Eroda website. The other thing is there's a section on the Eroda website that reads, "The primary occupation in Eroda is fishing. However, the island's art scene has recently started to develop. In particular, Erodian hairstyles have become a rather bold expression of self amongst the island's youth." So that's something that is written on the Eroda website, talking about bold hairstyles, which people are linking to this picture of a girl with a really weird hairstyle that we got the day Harrie was filming the music video that we haven't seen yet. So a lot of people are thinking, huh, weird Erodian hairstyles, that's literally what this is. This girl with like the fucking, I don't know, pretzel hair. Maybe her hair's like that because she lives in Eroda. So basically the basis of like the Eroda theory is that Harrie's unreleased music video takes place there and it has to do with that. And I think it is really interesting how many similarities there are between what Eroda looks like and what Harrie's unreleased music video looks like. Like, they are very similar in style and aesthetic. Another really interesting thing I want to point out that could link this whole thing to Harrie is the fact that the Eroda pages keep mentioning the significance of a gold earring. They tweeted about it and it's on their website to make sure that you're wearing the gold earring when you go fishing. People connect that to Harrie, of course, obviously, because he wore one gold earring at the Met Gala. The next two things I have for you that connect Harrie to the whole Eroda thing are kind of similar. They both have to do like with the website. So basically there is people, once this thing started blowing up, like this whole Eroda phenomenon, a lot of people started doing a lot more digging and a lot more research to try and connect Harrie to the whole Eroda thing. So somebody who's like real smart, because you know there's like smart people in our fandom who can like hack and go into details and find out all kinds of information. One of those smart people looked into the web hosting setup of the Do You Know Who You Are website and into the web hosting setup of the Eroda website, Visit Eroda, and found out that they have like extremely similar setups. Like, the person who did it is almost positive that the same person who created the Eroda website created the Do You Know Who You Are website, because they are scarily similar in web hosting setups and have the exact same like format. Unless you're educated in like internet stuff, it's hard to tell if it's true or not that they have a similar web hosting setup. How are you supposed to tell if you're a normal human being like me who knows nothing about that? I don't know if it's real or not. That's just what people were saying online, that they were going into the web hosting setups and seeing that they were similar, The other thing though is really, really interesting. So there was this girl who got an ad for Eroda on her Facebook, and if you know anything about Facebook, you know that when you get ads on Facebook, there's an option where you can find out why you're seeing an ad. Like Facebook will tell you like what category you fall into that makes you eligible to see certain ads. Like, why is this ad on my page? Oh, because I was shopping for cupcakes earlier, so I got a cupcake ad. You know, that kind of thing. There was this girl who got an Eroda ad and decided to go into her like setting option and see why she was getting the Eroda ad. Like, oh, what made it so this popped up on my Facebook feed? And Facebook told her that she got the ad because her like history indicated that she visited Harrie's website. So she was eligible to see the Eroda ad because she was on Harrie's website, which means that the Eroda website is targeting Harrie fans. So if you're a Harrie fan, you're more likely to see the Eroda ad. I've gotten one. I haven't seen them on Spotify or Facebook, but my cousin sent me a screenshot because she got one on Spotify, and she's a Harrie fan. I just really don't know what to make of it. But like I mentioned earlier, after the whole Eroda things blew up and became a thing, whatever, there was more ads that started appearing in different places. A few days ago, there was somebody who saw Eroda brochures on the subway in New York City. And then there was another one posted like outside in the city. Now all of a sudden these Eroda brochures are showing up in New York, which made a lot of people really suspicious because Harrie kind of did something like that before when he was posting those "Do you know who you are" posters everywhere in the city and stuff. But you might not be able to link that to Harrie because maybe someone was just like fucking around and printed off their own Eroda ads and placed them in New York to freak people out because they knew it was a big thing. But I don't know. Then that brings me to my next point, something that happened today actually. I'm not sure if you guys know, but today there was a bunch of listening parties that were hosted by Harrie for fans to listen to Fine Line, or a few songs off of Fine Line, and Harrie has been showing up to these listening parties. Nobody knew that he was gonna be there, but he's legit been flying in different places and attending these listening parties, surprising fans and listening to the album with them and like meeting them. So when fans found out that he was going to listening parties yesterday, there's people like, hey, if Harrie comes to your listening party, ask him about Eroda just to see what he says. So he went to a listening party in Paris, I think today it was. And there was a fan who asked him about Eroda. Apparently, at these listening parties, you're not allowed to like videotape or anything like that. So there is no possible way to confirm or deny that he said this. But there was a bunch of fans who were there tweeting like, oh my god, someone asked Harrie about Eroda. And he smiled and said, I don't know what you're talking about. There was multiple fans at the listening party who tweeted that, who said the same thing like, oh my god, someone asked him about Eroda. So I'm gonna say it's not fake because why would a bunch of fans tweet about it? So that's kind of the overall gist of what Eroda is and why people seem to think that it's linked to Harrie. Now I'm gonna read you like 2 interesting theories that I read on Twitter of people who came up with reasons why Harrie could be doing this and like what it could possibly mean. And these theories are really, really interesting, so I want you to listen to them. So the first one was posted by @HeavenlyFringe. Thank you for your contribution to this fandom. They said, what if this was the connection he wanted from the start? Eroda is a world, quite literally, of pure imagination. It's in his head, there's good places, bad places, and places where he gets stuck. So basically this person is theorizing like, Eroda isn't just for this music video that's unreleased. Maybe Eroda is like something that goes along with his entire era. Like literally a world of your imagination. Because there were so many just like bizarre things that people were posting about it. Like I read you some of them. It's like all these messages about leaving but not remembering leaving, and like just weird stuff and bizarre stuff that happens when you go there, like don't forget to wear your earring and don't leave on odd number days, and just all this really just weird cryptic stuff. So this person's theory is like, what if this whole era is him being stuck in Eroda, and Eroda is a metaphor for like his head or like the media. So the theory that I'm really like most set on is a really, really interesting one that was done by @SummersFeelin. So she made a thread about her thoughts. I'm just gonna read them. So the first thing says, so basically let's start with Lights Up. It's obvious in the video that there are multiple storylines and different versions of Harrie that has been established. The director of the Lights Up is Vincent Haycock, and he directed Florence's Odyssey film for her album. It's basically a long ass music video with all the songs connecting into one major storyline. So my idea / hope is that that's what Harrie is doing for Fine Line. I mean, with his emphasis on the cover art and the Lights Up music video in general, it would make so much sense with all the connections between Eroda and Fine Line. I would assume that Eroda is the place where Harrie is in the Scotland music video, which is what I was telling you guys about, the unreleased music video that Harrie was filming that we got pictures from. It was filmed in Scotland. He's in Eroda trapped and living out these different identities and eventually killing them off. We know he gets hit by a car and shit in the music video. He can't escape Eroda, so he's trying over and over again, waking up as a different person and seeing the director's cut spoiler that was put out. It's about freedom and self-exploration, with this crazy clear imagery of Eroda and this place that is holding him back, whether Eroda is a state of mind or a metaphor for the media, society, sadness, or whatever. Halsey did a similar thing with her Badlands album. She promoted this place for the sake of the art. My expectation is we're going to see Harrie live out different sides of himself on some styles effect shit and eventually reveal his current understanding of himself and be super vulnerable. So she thinks that the entire album is going to be set in Eroda, kind of like Halsey's Badlands thing, like she created this place for the sake of the art. Basically, some of the things that she was talking about, though, we did get a picture from the Lights Up director's cut. We never got the director's cut, but we got a screenshot from it where Harrie's like has multiple versions of himself in the same room. So what she's saying is that could be a part of the whole Eroda thing, like he's in this place, whatever it is, like it could be his own head or a metaphor for the media, something that's like holding him back and making it so he doesn't know who he is. So the whole album is him kind of discovering himself and being vulnerable with who he is, but along the way he runs into all these different like versions of himself, all these identities, and kills them off, which would make sense because there are a lot of people in on the Eroda thing who post about getting killed or leaving before they get you, that kind of thing. And the whole concept, like this whole theory of like Eroda and killing all his identities and being vulnerable when he finds like the last person that he is, it's all just very like dark and really personal, so it could be like a little bit hard to believe that that's what he's doing, but at the same time I think it's just really complex and interesting, and he is trying to be like different. Like this album has like a very different vibe than the last one. It's much darker and we knew that from the beginning. I think the whole Eroda theory overall is just very interesting, even if it has nothing to do with Harrie. I still think the whole concept, like even if it is a social experiment, is just really interesting. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and find out. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I have no idea if anything about Eroda is related to Harrie. I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know what's going on, kind of talk about the theories that I saw. So I think in due time, because his album is releasing really soon, like in a few weeks, it's coming so fast. So in due time we will know like what's going on with all of this, and we will have the answers and we'll be able to enjoy the era together. So also just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe below if you like One Direction and the One Direction solo boys. Also check out my main channel for all my vlogs and stuff. All of my album reactions and concert vlogs are going to be on my main channel, so don't miss out on those. Go check it out. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at jszmarie. Yeah, I think that's all I got for you, so I'll see you guys in next week's video.
No!